In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how you can use partial lines to make your shapes more abstract and interesting. Okay, so here we have our road that we did in the last video, and we can make the road look more interesting by, let's say, thickening it and changing the profile. But ultimately, the thing that is not necessarily working here is that we don't actually need the outline in its entirety. We do need it a little bit because look what happens when we get rid of it. When we get rid of it, we can't really tell where it is at all, except for where it interacts with the N, but it's impossible to see where it is, let's say, over here and over here. So we do want some of the line, but we don't need all of the line. And this is where the abstraction part kind of comes into play. And I'm going to show you how you can use partial lines to make more interesting final images. Okay, so what we're going to do is play around with some layers. What we want is one shape that has a fill and one shape that is just the stroke. So I'm going to take the stroke off of this off of this object, and then I'm going to hit Control or Command C to copy it. Then I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to lock that letter, and I'm going to lock layer 1, and then I'm going to hit Command or Control F, which, look, I didn't hit the right thing. Let's do it again. We're going to select the letter, not the letter, we're selecting the road, Command or Control C. We're going to then find layer 3. Let's lock layer 1, Command or Control F. That pastes that shape in place. Note that because it's underneath layer 2 where we have those cut up pieces of the N, it is still maintaining that depth. But now we don't need a fill on this shape. What we want is a stroke. So I'm going to get that black stroke. I'm going to turn it up to 2. And then I'm going to change the profile to this one, profile 5. And now I'm going to cut this apart using the scissor tool. The trick here is to not go too far, but to think about where we actually need the line. So what I'm seeing, and I'm just going to use the ellipse tool to show you what I'm talking about. What I'm seeing is that we're going to need the line around here. We're probably going to need the line here and around here. And maybe over here and over here. Okay. Those are the places where the letter is not giving us the shape. Okay, so let's get rid of those pink circles. Now I'm just going to do some cutting with my scissor tool. Okay, so I'm going to cut over here. And I'm going to cut over here. Then I'm going to cut over here. I'm going to cut over here. I'm going to cut over here. And, you know, this is all stuff that we can take back because we can always get the shape back by copying and pasting it again. And then I want to cut here and I want to cut here. And let's see what we've got. Okay, so this is the line that I want. Oh, and you know what? I didn't cut anything from the bottom half, so let's get that scissor tool back. I'm going to cut over here. Let's cut over here, here. You can cut here. And let's see what we've got. Okay, I want to delete this line. I think I'm going to delete this line because we have this, so we don't need this here. We can also try getting rid of that. We can get rid of that. No, I think that line was useful. So I'm actually going to combine these 2 points. So I can highlight them both, hit Command or Control J and make them 1 point again. See, if you if you think that you went too far, you can always just rejoin things if you change your mind and get them back. Okay. See, I think that actually might have been too far over here, and that's because I didn't cut anything from here to here. So let's cut this, and now I can try cutting this part out. There we go. So here is our road. I think we can probably cut some parts from here. Maybe we actually don't even need this at all. Nope, I changed my mind about that too. I think that was necessary. So let's keep those. Now, if you wanted to see what this looks like without the pieces coming off the page, you can go to View and find Trim View, and that just shows you only what's going to be on the page itself. And I think this looks pretty good. I'm not loving how heavy this part is, just because that's the thing that's the furthest in the back. But because it's cut apart, I can make that have a different stroke than the rest of it. So now this is at 0.1, and we've just used partial lines to make this a little bit more interesting. See, here we need the letter to create the shape, and that's the interesting interplay of the positive and negative shapes. Think of how you can use the partial lines to create more interesting abstract shapes. It's not going to be necessary in every project, but it might be worth looking at for yours.